House versus home. The definitions of these two words are similar, as shown below. House, a building in which a person or a family lives. Home, a house or apartment where a person or a family lives. The main difference between them is that house is concrete. House refers to a building in which someone lives. In contrast, a home can refer either to a building or to any location that a person thinks of as a place where she lives and that belongs to her. A home can be a house or an apartment, but it could also be a tent, a boat, or an underground cave. A home can even be something abstract, a place in your mind. When you say, "Let's go home," you are probably not talking simply about going to the physical structure where you live. You are talking about being in the special place where you feel most comfortable and that belongs to you. Physician versus doctor. Physicians and doctors can be used interchangeably because a physician is a doctor. Not all doctors, however, are physicians. Physicians have finished pre-medical and medical school. Doctors have completed 2 to 5 more years of residency after graduating from medical school. Doctors have more requirements than physicians in terms of internships and certificates. Physicians treat patients with drugs and medication, doctors make cure using surgery and more comprehensive medical procedures. Forest versus jungle. A forest refers to a large area of land covered with trees, plants and various other types of vegetation. It is a complex ecosystem that is found in both equatorial and tropical climatic zones. Forests generally exist in dry, wet, cold, and hot climates. A forest can be classified into different types based on its geographic location, climate and other characteristics. A jungle refers to an area of land covered with trees and dense, impenetrable vegetation. Jungles are found in both equatorial and tropical climatic zones. The jungles, mostly in the tropics, have tangled vegetation at ground level. The vegetation in the jungles is very dense, so it is not easy to walk through a jungle. Tablet versus pill. As nouns, the difference between tablet and pill is that tablet is a slab of clay used for inscription while pill is a small, usually cylindrical object designed for easy swallowing, usually containing some sort of medication, or pill can be the peel or skin, or pill can be an inlet on the coast, a small tidal pool or bay. As verbs, the difference between tablet and pill is that tablet is to form a drug, etc., into tablets, while pill is textiles of a woven fabric surface, to form small matted balls of fiber, or pill can be label, to peel, to remove the outer layer of hair, skin, or bark. Dinner versus supper. Dinner and supper are generally synonymous when referring to a meal in the evening. However, dinner can be considered by some to be a somewhat more formal word. In chiefly British English, supper can also refer to a light meal or snack that is eaten late in the evening. Weather versus climate. Both weather and climate refer to local conditions, temperature, rainfall, wind strength, etc., in a particular location or region, but the main difference between them is a matter of time. Weather refers to local conditions on the scale of minutes, hours, days, and even months to years. You can have a particularly wet month, warm winter, or rainy decade. Climate is an average of weather conditions over 30 years or more, and can be assessed for a single location, large area, or globally. While weather can change dramatically in a single location from day to day, for example, cold and rainy one day, followed by hot, dry conditions the next day, climate generally changes less quickly because it represents the average of weather conditions over a longer period of time. Sign versus symbol. A sign is language in its own right and its meaning universally shared by people belonging to a specific geographical location. For instance, a sign is mainly used to give warning to people, inform them, or to regulate their conduct in certain instances. A sign is mandatory to follow since it is communicating vital information with you. For example, when driving, a red traffic light tells you to stop or do not enter sign, or do not park or handicap parking, etc. A symbol is a something that is accepted by certain group of people or general population. It can be interpreted differently by people from different backgrounds. Other examples are power off buttons, Wi-Fi or thumbs up symbol. Penalty versus fine. Used in criminal and civil law, penalties are punishments imposed as a result of breaking laws, contracts or rules. The punishments imposed may be in physical and monetary forms, and are imposed either for the performance of an act or failure to perform an act. Fine is a form of monetary punishment for a crime or offense committed. Common in criminal law context, fines are used in instances involving minor crimes such as traffic violations. For instance, a person who exceeds driving speed limits is subjected to a fine. Other instances include settlement of claims against the accused person. Picnic versus tour. Picnic means a enjoyment with family, colleagues, a group of friends. Student by go to a beautiful place. It can be nearby or a little bit far. It's all about fun, enjoyment, a good day spent with close one. But in tour it include exploring a place, and it's not all about enjoy it for a reason such as for study purpose, research purpose, and it lasts for several days, not for a short while. Riot versus protest. Riot is an expression of dissatisfaction characterized by violence, vandalism, theft as well as the destruction of public or private property. These types of activities are common among disorganized and unruly groups and often result in the use of the police by the use of tear gas and CS gas to control rioters. Protest is a peaceful public display of disapproval or displeasure carried by chanting and marching in public. Protesters may organize demonstrations in a bid to have their opinions heard, influence government policy or public opinion, or in an attempt to enact certain changes themselves. Protests can be done through rallies, vigils, marches, motorcades, and boycotts, just to mention a few. Battle versus war. A battle is a small part of a war. The battles are won and lost between individuals or small groups leading up to winning or losing the war. The war is about the principle or ideology behind the disagreement and the strategy that goes with using the armed forces to win the war by fighting battles. Several battles together can be referred to as a campaign, but ultimately all battles and campaigns go towards winning the overall war. Problem versus issue. The word problem is used with an intention to solve it. Any problem for that matter will have a solution. There is no element of controversy in a problem. A problem cannot be lengthened or made serious. A problem cannot be complicated. A problem does not have the potential to cause harm. Problems can be permanent or temporary. Problems, when not solved, cannot grow in their impact but tend to remain the same. An issue is used in the sense of controversy. An issue is all about the controversy. There is always a debate whether it is correct or not. For instance, let us take the case of homosexuality. While some accept it, there are also other arguments against it as unnatural. This is a famous debate in Asian countries especially, where homosexuality is viewed as a social issue. Taste versus flavor. Taste is what takes place in your mouth when food or drinks make the connection with your taste buds. When a substance arrives on your tongue, information is passed to the brain to alert the brain that the taste of sweetness, something sour or bitter, salty or umami, a relatively new taste referring to a meaty savory taste sensation. Flavor is the fulfilling experience of taste and aroma together with sensing the texture of some foods. Aroma plays the biggest part in the sensory experience through flavor. The sense of smell is alerted to particles known as odorants that enter the nose when food is tasted. License versus permit. A license is a legally binding contract that allows someone or something to do, own, perform an action or use a service as long as they agree to the provided terms and conditions. Examples of licenses are driving licenses, software licenses and business licenses. A permit is an official document which gives an individual permission to carry out an activity. It is also a legal document that a person must have before the onset of a particular business. For instance, a person may have a driving permit before attaining a certain age, and once that age is attained, a license is given. Permits may also be required in the transport industries to go beyond certain points and transport certain goods. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe to our channel for more videos regarding English grammar. Test your English grammar.